bottom line, our core beliefs influence how we interpret and experience life. And that mobilizes our biochemistry, which could cause, right, anxiety. Hebb's law says that neurons that fire together wire together. So that's just the associations. So what we want to do is we want to rewire. We want to make new associations to redirect our field. And we'll talk about how to do that as well. And then we want to create new meanings, because the meaning that we assign, the meaning that our central nervous system assigns, if it's faulty, then we'll have the faulty response. Okay. Now, the good news is that do you know that what we see, because remember the central nervous system is focusing on our senses. It's all about what we can see, feel, touch, hear. And this is why faith is so important, and so important, all of this, because this, what we see, is a small, everything and even everyone we can see is less than 1%, actually less than 0.5% of what is actually there. Yet our central nervous system is continuously reacting to the sense system and the realm of what we can see. What we can't see is actually 99.7%, right, of what exists. And so that's why faith, being the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, we have if we looked at things that didn't line up with what God says, and we said, oh, good, you're only 0.5% of what's real. All right, Holy Spirit, let's pull from the 99, let's pull from the truth. And while we're pulling, it might be intangible. We can't see it yet. But the minute we decide to co-partner, co-create with God, then we start to pull what's already been created in the heavenlies here. Okay. All right. So good. So before we go, so the next part then is going to be how to overcome. So before we go there, I want to see if there are any questions.
I have a question.
Okay.
You could just restate, because I was taking these notes and I just got slightly confused. It's you said what we see is less than 0.05% of what is there, but our central nervous system reacts to what isn't there?
Say it again.
Would it be to what isn't there?
No, it reacts.
Or to what is there?
Yeah, to what it thinks.
Which is only to what it thinks is there. Thank you. That's how to write it. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Got it.
Because the central nervous system, and that's a good question, but the central nervous system is relying on our senses, right? Our five senses.
Right. Thank you. That's really good.
Mm-hmm. So we have to retrain it, and can retrain it to not just, and that's why we do. And tomorrow we talk about the word and the power of how just it's amazing how the word and why the word is so important, and so many other things. But so we are going to retrain, and we are retraining our central nervous system, but it does take time, and it does take consistency, and it does take some discipline, right, to retrain our nervous system, especially if we've been living in a condition with a habit, because anxiety can be a habit, and often it is. It's a habit because our central nervous system is a habitual, because of the central nervous system's desire to preserve energy. It's a creature of habit, right? So that's why we have to have certain practices, disciplines to help us. And this is why Jesus did. So keys to rewiring, right? Our nervous system. So first key, somebody read the first key. You guys see it?
We are relational beings. Prioritize relationship with God. Jesus modeled making space for his soul to be with our Father.
Yes, yes. So Jesus modeled this very beautifully for us, right? And I do believe that overcoming anxiety cannot be about just a method. It really has got to be a lifestyle, right? There is a lifestyle that will reinforce anxiety, and there's a lifestyle that will reinforce peace and homeostasis and what God did. And the lifestyle that reinforces anxiety would be a lifestyle of many, many distractions, a lifestyle that does not foster relationship with God, that does not foster connection with ourselves, and that doesn't foster connection or healthy connections with others, with community. A lifestyle, that lifestyle, and a lifestyle that, because then also a lifestyle that does not, that doesn't manage or take thoughts captive. Okay, that lifestyle will surely lead to anxiety. And then that continued lifestyle will form a habit that will make it more challenging to break that habit. Not impossible. Now, once we make the decision, everybody here, each of you have made the decision. You've said, no, I am making the decision. But now sometimes we go, oh, okay, well, I stopped. Okay, I did that class. How come it's not working? Or I took I took the medicine, or all of those things, like even medicine, there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but that is not going to cure that alone, right? It really has to be a lifestyle. It has to really be a decision to decide to think the way God tells us to think, to implement disciplines that he tells us to. That's a lifestyle that will, and then we don't have to live with or be influenced by or tampered with anxiety, to be tormented by anxiety, because that would be tormenting. Okay, so I want to say that now. So Jesus modeled that for us. He got up. So Jesus, do you guys think he was a little busy? I mean, he was he was training and equipping the disciples. He was going around. He had thousands of people coming after him. He was going around, just healing people, doing signs, wonders. Do you think he was a little busy? Yeah. And he made time before he did anything. And this is in Mark 135 that they put down here, Jesus. And we'll go through each of these. We'll go ahead and read the first one. Jesus made time to be with God. And then go ahead, somebody else read. We'll take turns to read them.
Early before starting his day, Mark 1:35.
Yes. So before, and somebody look that up, please. And then look up each one, Luke 4, 1 through 2. Early before Jesus started his day. Now, I don't know, but I think Jesus is a really good model. Jesus didn't have anxiety, despite all that he was doing, and despite how busy he was. And so he modeled for us that one thing: stay connected to God. Stay connected God. And that's what I meant yesterday about the disconnection, right? I do believe that there's a signal for disconnection, right? Somebody have Mark 135? No, I'm on my own.
I'd have the next one.
I have it. It's dark in here. I don't have my glasses. The next morning, Jesus got up long before daylight, left the house while it was dark, and made his way to a secluded place, give himself to prayer.
Okay, good. Thank you. Then, thank you, Elizabeth. Then the next one. Jesus also sought God for before starting the ministry, right? He didn't just do, he sought Father before starting the ministry. And that's Luke 4:1-2. Who has that one? Go ahead.
It says, this is some CPDB version. It says for 40 days, and he was tested by the devil, and he ate nothing in those days. And when they were completed, he was hungry. But then the better version says, and Jesus, filled with the Holy Spirit, returned from the Jordan, and he was urged by the Spirit into the wilderness. Luke 4:1-2.
Yes. Okay. Good. He did a fasting. He called a fasting. That was a big thing before starting the ministry. Good. Thank you, Yvonne. Next one.
Before making important decisions, Luke 6:12-13. After leaving, this was Jesus choosing the 12 apostles. After leaving the synagogue, Jesus went into the high hills to spend the whole night in prayer to God. At daybreak, he called together all of his followers and selected 12 from among them, and he appointed them to be his apostles.
Okay, thank you. Next one.
I have that one, Luke 5:15. Yet the news about him spread all the more, so that crowds of people came to hear him and to be healed of their sicknesses. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed.
Okay, good. Yes. So after he had to fill back up, right? So we have to fill back up when we're pouring out. Our time with God is what fills us back up. We have to be intentional about that as well. So it's, so he does it before starting the day, before anything important, before making important decisions, after ministering to people. And then who has the last one?
Matthew 14:10-13. And he sent and beheaded John in prison. And his head was brought on a platter, and it was given to the girl, and she brought it to her mother. And his disciples approached and took the body, and they buried it. And arriving, they reported it to Jesus. And when Jesus had heard it, he withdrew from there by boat to a deserted place by himself. And when the crowds had heard of it, they followed him on foot from the cities.
Yes. Okay. So he was grieving, right? And he took that time to be God the Father. So this is just again, sometimes we can overlook and lose sight of the basic, but we always need reminders that, right, that relationship, that is always a factor in anything external. There is nothing. I'm convinced of this. I'm fully persuaded of this, that there is absolutely nothing that presence with God, that God's presence cannot heal. That his presence cannot address and heal or give us response. Nothing, right? So so when we believe that, maybe for me, sometimes if I have like a headache or something, I know I'm like, okay, what am I holding on to? So that's another principle. What am I holding on to? If it's stress, or if I'm carrying stress somewhere, I go and just lay and just worship, just lay on my face and just wait. And then it's gone within a few minutes, right? It's just be within his presence, just soak. So we'll read his word.